epic low.
Over the past week, I've been digging through the deepest corners of Telegram. 7 levels of hidden channels and secret networks. Some are strange, others are outright disturbing. A few are so depraved they were never meant to be seen by the public.
They say that Telegram is quickly becoming another go-to app for dealing.
The deeper we go, the more unsettling it becomes. Let's start at the tip of the iceberg. In the dark corners of the internet, your entire digital life can be bought and sold for less than the price of a cup of coffee. This happens through something called stealer logs. These are packages of data stolen from a person's computer using a type of malware known as an information stealer. You might download what you think is a legitimate program or click on a bad link, and without you ever knowing, the malware scrapes through your device, creating a neat little file, a log, of your most sensitive information. It can contain every password you've ever saved in your web browsers, from your email to your bank account. It can have your browser cookies, which can let someone log into your accounts without even needing a password. Your autofill data is there too. Your full name, your home address, and even your credit card numbers. If you own cryptocurrency, the malware looks for your wallet files and passwords. It even records your computer's system information and your IP address, and can take screenshots of your desktop, capturing whatever you were working on at that moment. Telegram channels have become the black marketplaces where this stolen data is sold. The sellers, often the same people who created the malware, post their logs for sale like items on a shelf. They might advertise them based on the victim's country or what websites the log gives them access to. One of the most infamous of these marketplaces was a channel called MoonCloud. It operated like a massive open storefront for cybercrime. With over 20,000 members, MoonCloud boasted it was the largest, most versatile cloud in Telegram, claiming to aggregate the best logs from all other sources. It promised daily updates with over 2,000 new logs every single day, collected from powerful malware like LumaC2 and Stealth. MoonCloud ran on a simple model. It offered some logs for free to entice buyers and sold the highest quality data through a paid service. Criminals could easily purchase the tools for identity theft, financial fraud, and hacking into social media or even corporate accounts. While channels like MoonCloud sometimes get shut down, the problem never goes away. Dozens of others pop up instantly to take their place. But the threat isn't just from these logs. Other viruses, like one known as Toxic, spread directly through Telegram chats. Attackers send malicious links disguised as special prizes or discounts. If you click it, a file downloads and installs a virus that gives the attacker complete remote access to your device through a simple Telegram bot. From there, they can steal your bank details, private photos, and documents. They can turn on your device's camera and microphone, watching and listening to you without your consent. While you are watching this video, some sick person could be watching you from your camera, and you would never even suspect a thing. Everyone wants to make quick and easy money, and Telegram is filled with predators who use this desire to drain your bank account. These groups are incredibly common, and often look professional, but they are built on sophisticated scams designed to trick you. They mostly fall into 2 categories: cryptocurrency signals groups and sketchy gambling prediction channels. The crypto signals groups claim to have expert traders or secret inside information. They provide signals, which are just specific instructions on when to buy and sell a certain cryptocurrency to guarantee a profit. In reality, nearly all of these are classic pump and dump schemes. Here's how it works. The group administrators secretly buy a massive amount of a cheap, unknown cryptocurrency. Then, they post a signal to their thousands of followers, creating a sense of urgency and telling them all to buy that exact coin right now. This sudden flood of buyers causes the coin's price to skyrocket. This is the pump. Once the price hits its peak, the admins sell all of their coins at once. This is the dump. They make a huge profit, and the price instantly crashes, leaving every one of their followers holding a worthless digital token. A channel called Fed Russian Insiders, or FRI, claimed to have a team of expert analysts, offered both free and paid signals, and boasted an accuracy rate of over 90% with massive monthly returns. They built a huge following of over 140,000 members. But there was never any proof. The channel was filled with negative reviews from users who lost their money on bad signals. It was all a front, using a professional-looking brand to lure in people who were desperate to get rich. These scams can also evolve into full-on pyramid schemes. Toncoin was one of the biggest. It required users to register for a crypto wallet using a specific Telegram bot, which secretly recorded their personal information. Then, they had to buy coins and booster packs, with the promise of earning huge commissions, especially if they invited their friends to join. Needless to say, none of the victims ever saw a single dollar. The glorious commissions they were promised weren't real. It was all designed to get you to throw your money at scammers who disappear once they have what they want, leaving you with nothing. But sometimes the scam isn't about your money, it's about your mind. The next case isn't built on fake coins or fixed games. It's built on something far more dangerous: belief. Because of its light moderation and focus on privacy, Telegram has become a sanctuary for conspiracy communities that have been kicked off mainstream platforms like Facebook and YouTube. These groups are dangerous echo chambers where misinformation is shared, amplified, and treated as undeniable truth, often with devastating real-world consequences. After major social media platforms cracked down on QAnon, its followers moved to Telegram in droves. Here, channels run by major QAnon influencers share cryptic messages they call Q-drops, supposedly from a high-level government insider. They interpret every world event through the lens of their core belief that a global cabal of corrupt and sinister elites controls the world, and that a secret plan called the Storm is underway to expose and arrest them. These channels fed the radicalization that played a role in the 2021 assault on the US Capitol. During the pandemic, Telegram also became the world's biggest source for health misinformation. Groups with tens of thousands of members promoted the idea that 5G cellular networks were causing COVID-19 symptoms, or were being used to activate microchips implanted in people via vaccines. These channels aggressively spread distrust in doctors and public health officials, pushed unproven cures, and shared completely false claims about vaccine side effects. This online chatter led to real-world harm, with people refusing to follow public health guidelines or get vaccinated, putting themselves and their communities at risk. These groups attract people who already feel a deep distrust of traditional media and government institutions. They see themselves as truth seekers, fighting against a corrupt system. The channel administrators are often charismatic figures who present themselves as enlightened leaders, guiding their followers out of the darkness. While this may seem harmless, these groups can rapidly radicalize their members, creating a deep sense of paranoia that can spill over into real-world action. This isn't just theory, it has happened repeatedly. In August 2024, authorities noted that violent anti-immigrant riots were being coordinated through Telegram channels. The platform has been heavily criticized for its lack of moderation, a situation that intensified after its founder, Pavel Durov, was arrested.
Telegram, and just this week, the app's CEO is now under preliminary charges over alleged criminal activity on this platform.
The problem is global. In India, the app was at the center of a massive investigation for its role in leaking national entrance exams for medical schools, a case so large it reached the country's Supreme Court. These aren't just chat rooms for harmless kooks. They are engines of radicalization that pose a clear and present danger to society. Some are busy rewriting reality. Others are rewriting your identity. Name, credit card, digital fingerprint, sold before you even realize it. In the criminal underworld of the internet, your credit card is a commodity, bought and sold in digital marketplaces. This crime is called carding, and one of the most notorious players in this game was a group known as Biden Cash. Biden Cash was a massive dark web marketplace specializing in stolen card data, and it used Telegram as its main advertising platform. To attract new criminal customers and build their brand, they would pull aggressive marketing stunts. In October 2022, they released a file containing the full details of over 1.2 million credit cards for free. The data dump included a complete set of compromising data: the full card number, the expiration date, the 3-digit CVV code on the back, and the cardholder's personal information, including their name, home address, bank name, and email. For criminals, it was a free-for-all. For the 1.2 million victims, it was a financial nightmare waiting to happen. Channels like Biden Cash have automated buying tools, loyalty systems for repeat customers, and even a so-called buyer protection program. A key feature they advertised was their anti-public system. This was essentially a quality control mechanism they claimed to use to verify that all the stolen data they sold was exclusive and fresh. The system would scan public sources and other leaks to filter out any card details that were already circulating. This was their guarantee to buyers, that the data they sold was exclusive and hadn't been widely circulated among other criminals. The threat extends far beyond just credit card fraud. Telegram is used by all sorts of cybercriminals. In 2021, researchers discovered that numerous ransomware groups, the gangs who lock up your files and demand a ransom to release them, were using the platform to coordinate their massive attacks against companies, hospitals, and individuals. These stolen databases, containing millions of user credentials, are often sold in the same types of channels. Once your information is out there, it can be used in countless ways. Witnesses of these attacks have reported that criminals use their name and photo to create fake accounts to scam their friends and family, asking for money or spreading false information. Malicious bots patrol the platform, sending phishing links disguised as special offers, tricking users into giving up even more of their credentials. Biden Cash may just be one name, but it represents a sprawling, anonymous ecosystem where your financial identity is just another product on the shelf, waiting to be sold to the highest bidder. Everyone dreams of an easy way out of financial trouble. Scammers on Telegram know this, and they exploit that hope with a simple but devastating trick often called cash flipping or card loading. They create channels with flashy names like Instant Cash Flips or Money Multiplier and fill them with fake testimonials. You'll see screenshots of huge bank account balances and posts from supposed customers thanking them for changing their lives. It all looks incredibly convincing. The scam itself is brutally simple. The scammer claims they have a secret method to turn a small amount of money into a much larger sum. They might say they have an exploit in the banking system, or that they can load stolen funds onto prepaid cards. They'll ask you to send them a small amount, maybe $100, through a payment app. In return, they promise to send you back $1,000 within minutes. For people in a tough spot, that offer can seem like a lifeline. Another version of the scam involves prepaid debit cards. The investor will tell you to go to a local convenience store, buy a prepaid card, and load it with money. Then, they'll ask you to send them a picture of the card number and the PIN. They promise to flip that money and send you back a much larger amount. But once they have the PIN, they have full control. They drain the card of all its funds instantly, block you, and disappear without a trace. Your money is gone forever. While these individual scams can be financially crippling, some fraud operations on Telegram reach an industrial scale. In France, 2 individuals were arrested for running a massive scam against Uber Eats, all coordinated through a Telegram channel. They created around 137,000 fake accounts and used a channel called Fast Eats to offer 50% discounts on food orders. But they also taught their followers how to replicate the scam by demanding fraudulent refunds from the company. Before they were caught, their operation had cost Uber Eats over €2 million. Whether it's a simple promise to flip $100 or a complex international fraud ring, Telegram provides the perfect platform. It allows scammers to operate with near-total anonymity, reach a huge audience of potential victims, and vanish the moment they get what they want, leaving financial ruin in their wake. In the past, the trade of illegal goods meant meeting a dealer on a street corner. Today, that street corner has moved online, and it's on Telegram. The platform hosts a sprawling, decentralized network of thousands of channels that operate as digital illegal substances markets. It's not one single marketplace, but a collection of individual storefronts run by dealers across the globe, all taking advantage of Telegram's encryption and anonymity. The system is surprisingly organized. A dealer will typically create a channel that functions like a restaurant menu. They post high-quality photos and videos of their products, including a wide array of illicit substances, along with detailed descriptions and a price list for different weights. To place an order, customers are instructed to contact the dealer through a separate private chat. This keeps the main menu channel clean of any incriminating conversations. Payment is almost always demanded in untraceable cryptocurrency, like Bitcoin or Monero. The most ingenious part is the delivery. To avoid any physical meeting, dealers use a method called a dead drop. After the buyer pays, the dealer will hide the package in a secret public location. It might be taped under a park bench, hidden inside a bush, or even placed in a hollowed-out book in a public library. The dealer then sends the exact GPS coordinates and a photo to the buyer. The buyer picks up the package, and the entire transaction happens without the two ever seeing each other. This model has been used to build massive illegal substances empires. In Israel, a network called Telegrass grew to over 200,000 members. It operated like a drug-focused version of Amazon, complete with vendor reviews and customer ratings. At its peak, it was estimated to be generating millions of dollars a month before its leaders were arrested in a joint police operation. But shutting down one network does little to stop the trade. Police in France and Spain recently busted a gang that was selling various narcotics on Telegram and shipping it through the regular postal service. In Singapore, hundreds have been caught in Telegram crime rings. One suspect ran a network that spanned all of Asia, hiding his products inside electronics and candy to get them across borders. For some, the consequences are severe. A 48-year-old man from London named Charlie Garcia set up a one-man operation in Thailand, using Telegram to sell to locals and tourists. He was caught in an undercover police sting and now faces the most severe legal consequences, including a potential life sentence. While the deals may happen on an app, the risks are very real. Telegram's features have turned it into the perfect tool for a modern global illegal substances trade that authorities are struggling to contain. We've seen how Telegram fuels black markets, but what if the currency isn't cash, it's chaos? What comes next isn't about profit, it's about power. When the war in Ukraine began in 2022, a pro-Russian hacktivist group calling themselves No Name 057 emerged. Their mission was to wage a cyber war against any country or organization that stood against Russia. Their weapon of choice was something called a distributed denial of service, or DDoS, attack. In simple terms, they would find a target's website and flood it with so much junk traffic that its servers would overload and crash, knocking it completely offline for real users. The group's command center was a Telegram channel. From there, they coordinated their attacks and recruited an army of online volunteers. They created a custom toolset called the DDoSIA project, which allowed anyone anywhere in the world to download a piece of malware and volunteer their own computer's power to join the attacks. With an estimated 4,000 users participating, No Name was able to mobilize a massive, decentralized force to strike at will. Their targets were strategic and relentless. They started with Ukrainian infrastructure, constantly hammering government websites, news media outlets, and financial institutions to cause chaos. Soon, their campaigns spread across Europe. They targeted NATO allies with precision. In January 2023, they took down the websites of the Polish government and the Warsaw Stock Exchange. Shortly after, they launched a massive attack on Denmark's financial sector, successfully disrupting online services for the country's central bank and 7 other private banks. Italy was hit multiple times, with attacks crippling the websites of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and public transport authorities. No Name specialized in attacking during high-stakes political events to maximize their impact. During the 2024 European Parliament elections, they declared their intention to disrupt the democratic process, claiming responsibility for attacks against political parties and election monitoring services across the EU. When the Ukrainian president gave a video address to the Swiss parliament, they attacked Swiss government websites. When a critical peace summit for Ukraine was held, they struck again. And when NATO leaders gathered for a summit in the Netherlands, they launched yet another wave of attacks. For years, they seemed unstoppable. But in a massive operation on July 15th, law enforcement from 12 countries, coordinated by Eurojust and Europol, disrupted over 100 servers worldwide that formed the backbone of the group's botnet. Police conducted searches and seized evidence in Germany, Spain, Italy, and 4 other countries. 7 international arrest warrants were issued for the group's main instigators, who are believed to be living in the Russian Federation. In a final, bold move, the authorities used the group's own channels to send a direct message to its 1,100 known supporters and 17 administrators, warning them that they had been identified and would be held criminally liable for their actions. Different causes, different enemies, but the same ruthless tools. And when ideologies collide on Telegram, it becomes a battlefield without borders. While hacktivist groups like No Name are content with knocking down the front door of a website, another far more sinister group prefers to sneak in through the back and take control of the entire building. They are the Z-Pentest Alliance, a Russia-linked threat group with a chilling specialty, infiltrating the operational technology that runs our world's most critical infrastructure. They aim to manipulate the very systems that control our water treatment plants, oil and gas facilities, and electrical grids. First appearing in October 2023 and believed to have ties to Serbia, Z-Pentest quickly distinguished itself from its allies. While they collaborate with notorious DDoS groups like No Name and the now defunct Cyber Army of Russia, Z-Pentest's tactics are far more invasive. Their goal is to penetrate deep into industrial control systems and demonstrate that they can seize control. They coordinate their attacks on Telegram and private forums, but their real weapon is psychological warfare. Z-Pentest release videos of their exploits, showing footage of them manipulating industrial control panels and triggering alarms in real facilities. It's a calculated tactic of intimidation designed to instill fear and uncertainty, pushing their targets to react impulsively or make critical mistakes. They hunt for and exploit zero-day vulnerabilities, secret flaws in software that even the developers don't know exist. They use social engineering techniques to trick employees into giving up access, and they are known to buy and sell access to compromised industrial systems on the dark web. They are able to coordinate intricate multi-pronged attacks and share resources thanks to a vast network of cooperating hacker groups such as ZachNet Team, Anonymous Russia, and Killnet. The most dangerous hypothesis involves Z-Pentest collaborating directly with state-sponsored military actors to deploy wiper malware, a type of virus that doesn't just steal data, but permanently erases it, potentially causing irreversible damage to the systems that provide our most essential services. This is the endgame for Z-Pentest. Not just disruption, but total control, and the ability to cause chaos on a national scale. From the Asia-Pacific region, another politically motivated force has risen in the world of hacktivism, RipaSec. This pro-Palestinian group, based in Malaysia and closely tied to the larger collective Dragon Force Malaysia, has rapidly become one of the most influential players on the cyber stage since its appearance in mid-2023. Their motivation is clear, and their targets are specific: Israel and any country they perceive as its ally. Operating under hashtags like #OpsIsrael, their campaigns are a multi-pronged attack. They use DDoS attacks to disrupt services, website defacement to replace a site's homepage with their own political messages, and data leaks to expose sensitive information. Their primary point of operations is Telegram, where they have built a community of over 2,000 active members. This channel serves as their command center, a place for communication, coordination, and recruitment, allowing them to fuel their campaigns through collective action. RipaSec's focus is intensely geopolitical, with a consistent anti-Israel and anti-India stance. They have claimed responsibility for nearly 200 DDoS attacks, many aimed at Israeli government and private sector websites, but their reach extends far beyond the Middle East, with attacks documented against targets in Australia, Canada, the United States, and the United Arab Emirates. RipaSec developed its own proprietary DDoS tool named Mega Medusa. Created by the group's administrator, known as Trash Dono, this tool is specifically designed to bypass common web defenses like Cloudflare, enabling them to launch effective and sustained attacks where others might fail. They have also evolved beyond simple disruption, demonstrating the ability to breach databases and leak sensitive information from their targets' back-end systems. The group has proven to be incredibly resilient. Even after the reported death of its leader in July 2024, RipaSec's activities continued without pause, revealing a decentralized structure that does not rely on a single point of failure. They have also formed strategic alliances with other politically motivated groups, including pro-Russian entities like No Name 057, allowing them to share resources and coordinate larger, more impactful campaigns. While they are known for their loud and public disruptions, they also employ stealthier methods. They exploit vulnerabilities in applications, use stolen credentials to gain and maintain access, and abuse inactive accounts to move laterally within a network. By using legitimate credentials instead of just malware, they reduce their digital footprint, making them much harder to detect and remove. So far, we've explored financial scams, misinformation, and digital warfare. But what's coming next isn't just criminal, it's personal. For the victims, it doesn't just ruin their accounts, it destroys their lives. In 2020, South Korea was shaken by one of the most horrifying digital crime rings ever uncovered, the Nth Room scandal. At its peak, this network on Telegram had over 260,000 members, all participating in the exploitation of at least 74 women, including several victims. South Korea's strict laws against adult content had pushed such material underground, allowing criminals to operate with total impunity. The operation was masterminded by two individuals known by their online aliases, God and Baksa. God's method was deception. He would find young women who posted photos on social media, then contact them pretending to be an authority figure. He'd claim their pictures had been leaked and that he needed their personal information for an investigation. Once he had their details, he would drop the act and begin blackmailing them, coercing them to create harmful digital content that he would then distribute in his private chat rooms. Baksa, whose real name was Cho Ju-bin, used a different tactic. He posted fake job listings promising high-paying part-time work in modeling or retail, jobs that would naturally attract young women. Once they applied, he would begin the same cycle of threats and coercion. If a victim refused to cooperate, he would threaten to post their home address, their full name, their workplace, and all their personal details for thousands of strange men to see. These chat rooms became a gruesome business. Members paid fees using untraceable methods like gift cards and cryptocurrencies to access the content. There were different membership levels, with VIPs paying large sums not just to view the material, but to interact directly with the victims, interacting with the victims in real time. As the network grew, it was discovered that Baksa even had accomplices, including public officials who provided him with the personal data of his victims. The brutality of these crimes didn't come to light because of a police investigation, but because a group of university students, horrified by what was happening, started their own citizen-led campaign. They gathered evidence and exposed the existence of the rooms on social media, creating so much public pressure that authorities were forced to act. The investigation led to the arrest of 124 people, and Baksa was sentenced to 40 years in prison. But the horror didn't end with the nth room. The case inspired copycats, leading to the rise of so-called humiliation rooms and acquaintance rooms. In these spaces, perpetrators, many of them teenagers, share secretly taken photos of women they know personally. They target classmates, friends, and even their own family members, like sisters, mothers, and cousins, often taking photos of them while they are sleeping. In some cases, they use artificial intelligence to create deeply inappropriate, altered images of them. The list of schools involved in these new rooms is extensive, from middle schools to the top universities in the country. Some crimes are hidden in whispers, others are shouted through screams. What follows isn't just illegal, it's a spectacle of suffering. At first, it sounds harmless, something you'd order at a diner. But in certain corners of the internet, chicken soup is whispered as code for something far darker. The term didn't appear on Telegram. It's older. Investigators first saw it on deep web forums in the 2000s, alongside names like Cebola-chan, Playpen, and J-Decor, forums that were dismantled after authorities confirmed they hosted large archives of illegal sexual material involving users needed VPN chains, invite codes, and anonymous crypto wallets just to get in. When those forums were shut down, the people behind them didn't stop. They scattered and began using mainstream platforms to blend in. By the mid-2000s, groups on Facebook and Twitter were quietly passing around what they called packs. At first, they hid them inside meme pages or fake fan communities. During the day, they posted jokes and pop culture references. At night, they quietly shared shortened links to hidden mega or MediaFire folders. The links would vanish within hours. Some groups even used a system they called extensions, secret chat rooms that opened for only 2 hours before disappearing forever. The names looked harmless, and that was the point. If you didn't know the code, you saw nothing. Eventually, they moved to Telegram. Here, the system became industrial. Public bait posts on Twitter or TikTok hide-invite links to private Telegram channels. Once inside, new members were met with strict rules. You weren't allowed to just watch. To stay, you had to contribute 10 videos per day, minimum. If you didn't post, you were banned. If you posted too little, you were banned. Members tracked who uploaded what, and anyone inactive for 24 hours was expelled. These groups weren't loose chats, they ran like factories. To hide from detection, they disguised files with innocent names, wrapped them in encrypted archives, and circulated them through bots that auto-delete the messages after a few minutes. Some groups even ran referral systems. You'd get a personal invite link, and for every 30 people you recruited, you unlocked a higher tier with access to larger archives. It was a pyramid designed to grow itself. Every link was temporary, every user disposable. This entire network is what investigators call chicken soup. It isn't one channel, it's a shifting swarm. Dozens of small invite-only groups, scattered across Telegram, vanishing and reappearing faster than they can be taken down. When authorities shut one down, the members scatter to new channels, rename everything, and start again. It's proof of how deeply these networks have embedded themselves into the encrypted shadows of Telegram, and how difficult they are to ever fully erase. In late 2023, a Telegram channel surfaced in Israel that sent a shockwave through the public. It was called 72. The name itself was a cruel joke, but for its thousands of followers, it was a window into a war without rules. A place where the casualties weren't mourned but openly mocked. The channel claimed to show creepy images and videos from the war in Gaza, focusing on Palestinian casualties and captives. But this wasn't just some fringe group hiding in the shadows. A major Israeli newspaper uncovered a disturbing link. The channel was connected to a special unit inside the Israeli military. This unit's official job was to conduct psychological operations, a formal way of saying they play mind games to influence how people think. When the news broke, it caused an uproar. It suggested that official government forces might have been behind sharing extremely violent material to push a specific narrative. The channel appeared just 2 days after the October 7th attacks. Its posts were filled with hateful and dehumanizing language. One post promised to shatter the criminal's fantasy, while others mocked the victims. Followers were explicitly told to share the content far and wide, to spread a message of dominance, and to shame their enemies. At its peak, the channel had over 700 posts and thousands of followers. The feed was a constant stream of sensitive material showing victims and destruction. Many pictures used dehumanizing language. Some posts even joked about the violence, turning a real human tragedy into a form of sick entertainment. At first, the Israeli army flatly denied having anything to do with the channel. But as journalists and the public demanded answers, the military finally admitted that the channel had been run by its soldiers without permission from their commanders. They called it a serious mistake and said the people responsible had been disciplined. But by then, the channel's online hate had spilled over into the real world. In one alarming case, hundreds of people rioted at a hospital, fueled by a rumor that enemy fighters were being treated inside. Almost immediately, a video of that riot appeared on the Telegram channel, where it was celebrated. The violence wasn't just being shown, it was being encouraged. This is the danger of such content. It makes people numb to real human suffering, turning human suffering into just another weapon in a war. Most of us turn away from true violence. It's natural to look away from horror. But on the hidden corners of the internet, there are theaters built specifically for it, where the audience never leaves. They're called sites that host extremely violent content. Unlike normal social media, these websites have only one purpose: to share real creepy videos of disturbing outcomes and sensitive material. They may seem like a small dark alley on the web, but a chilling report by the Institute for Strategic Dialogue pulled back the curtain on this world, and what they found is staggering. In just 1 year, 10 of these sites received nearly 250 million visits. But here's where it gets worse. These archives of violence have become a weapon. Extremist groups, from jihadists to the far right, discovered that these sites are the perfect place to host their propaganda. Extremist groups have uploaded violent videos to glorify attacks, recruit new followers, and spread fear. The footage from infamous global attacks like Christchurch, New Zealand, or Buffalo, New York, isn't just stored here, it's used as a recruitment poster. And it never goes away. On YouTube or Instagram, a video like this would be deleted in minutes. But on sites that host extremely violent content, there are no rules. No one checks your age, no reporting system, no one is watching. You don't even need an account to see it all. This lawless design makes it incredibly easy for extremists to spread their message, and for any user, regardless of age, to accidentally find it. Researchers found that you could type simple words into the search bar, and within seconds, find hundreds of videos made by extremist organizations. The problem spreads when extremist channels on Telegram act like tour guides, posting direct links to these sites and telling their followers to go watch and share the violence. Now, a new, even more worrying trend is emerging. Using new technology, these groups are building their own versions of YouTube that are almost impossible to shut down because no single company owns them. It's a world without guardians, where the worst moments of human history are available on demand, waiting for the next click. Telegram has a history of features that, while intended for connection, become tools for... A perfect example was People Nearby, which allowed users to see others who were physically close to them. Criminals quickly exploited it to sell illegal substances and solicit illegal sexual services. More frighteningly, it became a weapon for stalkers. Users reported being harassed and followed by strangers who found them through the app. The widespread abuse and the feeling of being constantly watched became so severe that Telegram was eventually forced to remove the feature. On a far more organized and horrifying scale, the same principles of anonymity and global reach have been twisted to facilitate a crime almost unthinkable in the modern age: the trafficking and exploitation of individuals. From 2014 until the fall of the group's caliphate in 2019, a sprawling marketplace hosted on Telegram was reportedly used to trap Yazidi hostages. The Yazidis, a religious minority, were targeted in a brutal campaign of persecution. Thousands lost their lives. The stories from this period are the stuff of nightmares. In one documented case, a victim was reportedly sold in Mosul and later advertised again from Raqqa. The post treated the person as a commodity, showing how dehumanized the trade had become. This was a market where even Yazidi miners were reportedly coerced into armed roles or labor, treated as objects rather than individuals. For years, a Yazidi man named Bazad Farhan has been documenting this network, trying to expose the criminals who used encrypted Telegram channels to traffic members of his community. This extreme case illustrates how the platform's features can be twisted into tools for organized abuse. But the problem goes far beyond one evil group. Telegram has been used as a logistical platform for human trafficking networks all over the world. Traffickers coordinate their operations across different countries in massive groups, make deals in secret chats, and even use bots to track the movement of their victims. These networks are terrifyingly organized. Recruiters post fake job offers to lure in victims, while traffickers seek victims with specific characteristics. The app connects a global network of ports in Ukraine, borders in Central America, sites of exploitation, and abandoned warehouses, all in real time. Criminals across the globe have found that Telegram offers the perfect environment to recruit people for real-world crime. Instead of getting their own hands dirty, they can hire anonymous accomplices online to carry out scams and harmful acts, all while hiding behind a wall of encryption. This has given rise to a dark online job market where the desperate are lured into a life of crime with promises of easy money. In Japan, this phenomenon is so common it has its own name, Yami Baito, which translates to dark part-time jobs. These jobs are advertised as high risk but high reward, with the added bonus of never having to meet your boss. To someone struggling financially, it can seem like the perfect opportunity. Take the case of Risa Yamada, a 27-year-old woman stuck between jobs. She found a Yami Baito ad on social media that offered her a simple task: use her charm to convince elderly people to hand over their money by impersonating a police officer. She was successful, but her story is just the tip of the iceberg. This model was perfected by criminal organizations like the Luffy Gang. While its leaders were in prison, they used Telegram to recruit and coordinate with dozens of accomplices in Japan. First, they posted enticing ads for dark, part-time jobs online. Then, they would move potential recruits to Telegram, where they could give them instructions through encrypted messages. A common task was to have hires pose as financial agents and visit the homes of vulnerable targets, like elderly couples or single women. Once inside, the act was dropped. The gang members would steal bank cards and other documents, drain the victims' accounts, and send the money to their bosses for a hefty commission. For a while, it was just about the money, but these crimes inevitably escalated. In one incident, a woman refused to hand over her belongings. The hired criminals took them by force, and in the struggle, she lost her life, all for just 3 luxury watches and a diamond ring. This model of recruitment for crime has now gone global, fueling a massive network of hidden criminals. All across Southeast Asia, young people are falling for fraudulent job ads on Telegram and Facebook. They are promised well-paying IT or marketing jobs in places like Singapore or Thailand, but when they arrive, they are taken against their will, their passports are confiscated, and they are taken to heavily guarded scam compounds in Myanmar, Cambodia, or Laos. There, they are forced to work 15-hour shifts, using AI-generated deepfakes and voice clones to scam people all over the world. They are given monthly targets, and if they fail to meet them, they are mistreated or transferred to other scam centers. It's a modern form of forced servitude, where hundreds of thousands are trapped, building a criminal enterprise worth billions of dollars. What if there was a black market where the product being sold wasn't an illegal substance or a weapon, but a part of the human body? According to journalistic investigations and security reports, hidden invite-only groups are rumored to operate as part of a black market involving medical materials. In these channels, anonymous intermediaries allegedly claim to supply human organs from unidentified sources. Participants could include renegade surgeons operating in unlicensed or unregulated makeshift clinics, requesting specific body parts for alleged unsanctioned procedures. In other cases, people in situations of extreme poverty are reportedly pressured into giving up organs for payment, desperate and without any medical regulation or safety guarantees. Beyond just transplants, there are rumors of an even darker side. Individuals offering to perform bizarre and unethical procedures, like conducting unethical experiments on human subjects and selling videos of the documented findings to shady pharmaceutical companies or collectors with morbid interests. Because these channels are strictly private and require a direct invitation, finding concrete proof like screenshots is nearly impossible. This secrecy is exactly why Telegram would be the perfect platform for such a trade. However, the idea is terrifyingly plausible because it mirrors a crime that is already a very real global problem. Organizations like the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime and Interpol have been highlighting the grim reality of the global organ trade for years. Criminal networks reportedly target vulnerable populations, including people in conflict zones or extreme poverty. These network operators lure vulnerable individuals with false promises of a better life or a large sum of money. In many cases, individuals are reportedly coerced or deceived into giving up organs or tissues, often left with little compensation and long-term health issues. This isn't a simple street crime, it's a sophisticated operation. It involves a network of recruiters who find the victims, corrupt medical professionals willing to perform the surgeries, and intermediaries who connect the sellers to the buyers. This is where a platform like Telegram becomes an invaluable tool for criminals. At the absolute bottom of the disturbing Telegram iceberg lies a rumor so dark it feels like it belongs in a horror movie. The rumor is this: small, ultra-private groups on Telegram allegedly organize supposed clandestine competitions, complete with a twisted business model built on betting and arranged violence. According to the legend, messages are posted within these secret channels to target a specific person. There are rumors about bets placed on the outcome of alleged violent acts for a certain number of hours. These unconfirmed reports claim that the hunters are allegedly involving former soldiers. They supposedly make their money in 3 ways: by allegedly being hired for unspeakable acts, by winning bets on the outcome of the hunt, or by allegedly documenting these events and selling them, though no proof exists. The targets could be anyone. They might be random people who catch the wrong person's attention, or abducted individuals or debtors allegedly released into a remote area filled with hidden cameras to record their last appearances. The legend even includes bizarre details, like a set of sporting rules for the hunt, such as not making the prey suffer or limiting the number of shots allowed. Some theories go even further. Rumors claim they are streamed privately, though authorities found no proof, similar to the infamous Red Room myth from the dark web. While this is highly speculative, history has shown us that reality can often be far more twisted than fiction. It is crucial to state that there are no publicly verified cases that confirm these organized, live-streamed human hunts are actually happening. The concept is a popular trope in movies like The Hunt and Hostel, and it has been adapted into a modern conspiracy theory. However, the legend feels so plausible because it's fueled by real, separate crimes. We know that organized crime, hitmen, and human trafficking are real. We know that severe acts of violence are sometimes recorded. The urban legend of the human hunt simply combines all of these terrifying realities into one single nightmarish narrative. In response to widespread illicit activity, Telegram has begun implementing new measures, promising to work with authorities in serious cases by sharing the IP addresses and phone numbers of criminal users. The era of complete anonymity on the platform may be ending, but even if these specific human hunting groups are just a myth, the fact that they are so believable is a chilling reminder of what humans are capable of, and it leaves us with an unsettling question. Even if you take away the shadows, will the monsters ever truly disappear? In the age of encrypted freedom, what else hides in the dark? Maybe we haven't reached the bottom. Maybe we just stopped looking.